Let me ask you a question. When you say you want to start a business, what do you actually think matters? So today's episode on the way to words is what actually matters when you start a business. Is it the logo, the LLC, the followers, the website, the aesthetic, or is it something deeper? Today, I don't want to give you a checklist. I don't. I want to ask some questions because sometimes the reason we feel stuck is because we focused on the wrong things. I know for me, sometimes you get excited about the start of something because you're looking for something new to do, something fresh. You're tired of doing things the same way you did before. So the newness, I don't know. Like, so, I know we all heard of like when the newness wears off, like even like when you start in a relationship and stuff and you're excited about it, everything is, you love, enjoy getting the phone calls, you enjoy getting the flowers and the candies, you enjoy someone checking up on you and asking you where you're at all the time. And then the newness of that wears off, right? And then sometimes that starts to bother you. But so let's slow this down. Let's talk about what's important and what's just noise. Do you have a skill that solves a problem? So, and that's what they are. That's what when we watch YouTube videos on the success stories or the success channels and how they went about getting subscribers and followers and brand deals and all these things, they'll tell you it's a they just starting a channel is not enough. It's about having something that solves the problem, right? I mean, most people search these things because they're looking for an answer to something that they might be struggling with. Before branding, before business cards, before announcements, ask yourself, what problem do I solve? And that's in careers, whether you're on the online or in person, when you go or in school. What problem am I trying to solve with what I'm doing? Not what do I like, not what would be cute. What problem do you solve? It's just a simple question and answer that you have to seek for yourself. What is the problem? What can I bring to the table? Sometimes, all I can do is speak from my own life experiences. Sometimes when you always, it's okay sometimes if you show up empty handed, like if there's a party or a gathering or something, and it's okay. Okay, here and there you show up with nothing. But after a while, people get tired of you showing up with nothing, right? You're just taking up space. You never have anything good to say, or you're never a team player unless, I, I mean, these are just things we all deal with at times. Sometimes, like if you're at work and you have a potluck, they send out letters saying, everybody bring this, that, or the other, and then you'll see someone who didn't bring anything trying to eat up everything or something. I'm not sure. But we all have had these things before, I'm sure, that where you feel like you carrying a lot of the load because someone else just keeps showing up with nothing. Okay, so is what problem do you solve? Does your art make people feel seen? Does your crochet make people feel style? Does your podcast make people think differently? Does your AI work save people time? So these are just like simple questions you can ask yourself about what problem are you trying to solve with whatever you are creating. And if if you disappear tomorrow, right? Would someone miss what you create? Would someone still? I was watching a YouTube video last night of music. I love music. Everyone, music gets us through so much. So, and you feel like a lot of some artists have been so great that they've created something that still is going on today. It still makes you want to listen to them whenever, I mean, so much music comes through, so sometimes we don't just sit and listen to it all the time. But if you go in a department store and it's playing, it'll make you want to, can't wait to get out of the store and go search for that on Apple Music or Spotify or somewhere and listen to it again and listen to it some more because it sparked up some memories you had when you was listening to it back in the day or whatever. So will someone miss what you create? That's important. A business is not a vibe; it's a solution. And you on social media, a lot of times that's what we go for, vibes, or the trends, uh, and once that trend is over, if you followed it closely, once it's over, you feel stuck for a minute because that's just what you design your whatever after is trends, what everybody else is doing, instead of finding your own unique voice. And so and it happens more time, more often than not. That's why you keep having you seeing videos of people trying to explain how you can make it from A to B to Z and all these things if you did this A to B to Z, right? Because in the comment section, we do always ask, like, well, how did you do that? How, I mean, when you're looking at someone else do stuff, it looks really simple. It's like not much to it. It don't seem like, but when it's time for you to do it, sometimes that's how I'm always like, I like, get in the, I'm ready, and when there's no paper around, right? Then I got all these ideas and everything, but then when it's time to, when I have paper, then I can't think of anything. Like, I'm in this phase of trying to paint and draw. I mean, because I'm an artist, I totally am an artist, and so I don't like to waste my talents, even if I'm not trying to sell it or anything. I still like to be busy using my own talents, you know, growing them, getting stronger at them, using them, understanding them, and doing these things. So I encourage anyone to, you don't always have to be thinking about selling anything, but if your end goal is to sell your art or to make money off your channel, then you continue to practice on that and continue to work on that. Like sometimes it's hard to understand how to paint or draw when you see other people and they do it so effortlessly. But there's like things they do, and once you realize you can do those same things too, you like I try to do a lot of stuff just from my memory, and so they are mostly made up characters. But you can use a reference. You can, you know, trace it and all these things and then come back and color it. So it don't have to, sometimes I'm so hard on myself thinking so hard about stuff and I don't have to. Um, if you can, hopefully you can hear me. I'm gonna do a quick video on these new pale mics that I got. So hopefully it's picking up pretty good. Um, and so we shall continue. Are you focused on looking legit or being valuable? What is your thinking behind what you're trying to create or what business you're trying to start or your channel? Uh, is it just trying to look legit, like you're a person working hard or something, or are you trying to add value to what you're doing? And sometimes I feel like I'm not the type of person that says a lot all day. I mean, I do like if I'm talking to my friends or my own followers somewhere, and the personal thing, they probably feel like I don't ever shut up or something. But normally, like business wise, I'm like straight to the point. I don't really feel like I need to say everything because there is so many. Sorry, I'm hitting the mic. There are so many other people saying so many things as well, and they're saying, and it kind of adds into what I'm saying as far as if you want to know how to grow something. I don't know. I mean, I really don't. Most of the times, I am just like doing me, being myself. It's like this podcast. I mean, I'm just being myself, trying to talk to whoever will listen and explaining what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do. And if you find something in it, I mean, feel free to apply it. And so I don't have all the answers. I don't go around feeling trying to tell people I have all the answers or anything. But I am also learning from other people as well on social media, and it kind of helps me understand a lot of stuff too because of it's so simple. But sometimes when it comes to content, we think so hard about it. Like, what am I going to do? And I was watching. I haven't gotten good at all of the things yet. I haven't gotten good at putting like links to everything. I haven't gotten good at that. I haven't gotten good at ex- telling you exactly what person I on YouTube I heard this from yet. I think it was the mind thinkers or something. They was thinking, but anyway, I'll probably. And I haven't gotten good at when you hear people say, "I'll put all the links in the description." So I'm still. These are still things I need to grow on, so people can go get it from exactly where I got it from. But he said, just sometimes when we're so used to just opening up packages, and unless you are already seasoned at doing this, and I felt like it was just really simple, and it's something you can do. Like when I said this lapel mic, just when you buying something for your business, instead of just going on and using it, you could do an unboxing video or something that helps, you know, grow your channel or make you put you in a growth mindset at letting people know, and then you can do videos on how you feel about it 2 weeks later or a month later. So I want to start doing that, or get in the habit of doing that when it comes to doing business stuff. Okay, so are you spending more time designing graphics than improving your craft? What are you spending most of your time on? You know, that perfectionism thing. I try not to really get into that. I'm not really a person that thinks that way. I just get up, do what I'm gonna do, and then if it turns out good, that hey, that's better than I expected, and that's pretty much. But sometimes people do want to get every little note right, every swiggle line, and all these things. So and I was thinking about when I want to. I've been watching some abstract painters and doing different things on how to, because I don't know how to draw. But if you go to a museum and you look at stuff, and everybody who's with you see things in a different way, they see it differently than you. Like you might see an eye in the center, and they might see an eye at the top or something. So I like the fact that you just throw some paint, not throw, but you kind of mix your paints up on whatever medium you using, and then try to sketch out something from your what you see from there. So, like I said, what are you spending most of your time on? Trying to force something, or just letting it be at what it is? These are just questions, because this is what this podcast is about today. Is just questions that you can ask yourself, that I can ask myself, that you know might open up another way of seeing things, or another door of. I mean, because we do get into some types of standstills, or sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees, as they say. But so you have to, and when I feel like I never understood what people meant by that. Of course, I wouldn't. Maybe AI could help me, but I would gather it means sometimes you do have to stand back and let something come to you naturally, and then your eyes might be open to it, because we get stuck just in our own way of thinking sometimes, and then you'll hear someone else speak on it and make things look a little clearer. I think sometimes more time researching equipment than using what you have. Now that is a big problem. I think we all have. Especially when it comes to the market. I mean, because every time you turn around, there's something new coming out. You could have just got your iPad last week, and then next week it's already one that's got 10 times more. I don't know. It's probably not like that, but and it could not. You could have got an Android, and then the iPad came out with something 10 times more desirable or something. I don't know, depending on your taste and your level and your wallet, right? So sometimes that goes with that. I don't want to start till I got all the right stuff or whatever, instead of just using what you have. Uh, when you're a creative, sometimes you just are. Sometimes you are all over the place because your mind, it's not so much as you can be a person that just reviews these things, right? But every time you turn around, there's something else new to review. Like if you review equipments, maybe you review cameras, but every time you turn around, there's a new camera on the market. So it's not like you all over the place, but I mean, there you know, or maybe just electronics. Let's put it that way. And so I just feel like when you're creative and I just sticking to whatever you're that's a lot to get out. But just I'm like proud of myself that I've done this and I started this. I want to continue with it, but like I said, sometimes when you're creative, your mind is scattered at times. But you know, so what I started doing, because I want to do art as well, it's just using what I got. Paper is expensive, especially when you get into those type of papers which you need for watercolors or acrylics or oils and things. So the hack I've done is kind of like the paper that comes in the boxes from Amazon. They might come in from everyone else, but that brown paper bag looking stuff, I just started putting it on the wall, and I used it to sketch on. And because I feel like I'm just trying to get myself good at understanding proportions, understanding how to draw certain things, um, like a head, so, and then I can just every day see my progress. I want to do it every day, just kind of sketch something, anything that I'm looking at or anything I've seen at work, or so that's just using what I have, until I can afford to do anything else. Um, I mean, because there's no sense of wasting good paper when you don't know what you're doing. I'm also going to start using it to do those paintings, practice on doing that. So I think I'll learn I'll start on that sometime today. Okay. If nobody saw this, would I still build it? Like when we first started, like I said, we feel like we got some great ideas, and if we just put it out there, people will be quick to want to look at it. But sometimes that's not always the case. People are, they don't know who you are, so sometimes it's not like the algorithm or something. It's just gonna instantly put you up at the top when if you just starting. So sometimes you feel discouraged or whatever, but do you continue to believe in yourself? And that's what I would say about the pay thing. I'm sorry, I don't understand how that goes. I'm not really good at understanding all that. If like it says you should get emails, I don't know, but I feel like I thought it came with people once they subscribe, their email already comes. So that's probably where I'm not understanding where that comes, how that goes. But it's still something I'm trying to learn. But sometimes we question our value, right? Like especially when it comes to trying to put a tag on it, a price tag on it, or if you should. And so this year I felt like that's not something I should question again. I've been like questioning it for years, as far as just believing in, that I should, or because no one is just like breaking down the doors, or should I not? So when I did decided to go ahead and make this a paid subscription, I feel like yes, it's about time for me to put a value on myself, and not for making products, but for just being me. For you know, uh, I mean, I feel like what I'm doing and saying has a lot of weight to it. No pun intended, because the way the words. Um, so I felt like, yeah, it was time. And if anyone else is struggling with that, I mean, it is questions you need to ask yourself. But I mean, you shouldn't shy away from it if you feel like that's what you should do. Um, because what's important in the beginning isn't looking established. It's saying, this is me, this is what I'm bringing to the table. I still have some room to grow and understand. I'm not learned in it. I'm just believing in myself and saying, yes, I do have something to offer. My value is worthy, and what I'm saying speaks volumes, to someone. It might not speak it to everyone, but someone can get something out of this. So that is the question: is whatever you're doing solving a problem, or is it making people think differently? So credibility grows from competence, not Canva. And just knowing you can do it, you're competent in doing it. Like, I do need a dictionary, because sometimes you say words and you be like, but anyway, just that competence. Sometimes people feel you aren't competent. Like, I feel like, because if you didn't go to school like the rest of the other people, sometimes they feel like you might not understand a lot of stuff. So, and again, I think the Canva is not degrees. It's coming from, regardless. A lot of times if you have parents that they ain't really like, they didn't go to school a lot because they was busy working, trying to figure out a way to feed their family. So schooling wasn't a big thing for them, but they hoped that their kids would find a way to, you know, make better education or get better education than them, whether it was being homeschooled or taking some courses online, or, whatever you have to do. Uh, so a lot of times your parents, if had parents that didn't go to school or something like that, because they was busy working. So competence is, a lot of times, if you tell you people that your parents didn't go to school or nothing, they was busy working on a farm or something, you would feel like that the person you were talking to would feel like they was uneducated in the sense of the world, so they wasn't really all that competent. Yes. Do you want applause or ownership? What do you want? Sometimes this is uncomfortable when you say you want to start a business. Do you want to start a business for freedom, control, income, legacy, or do you want validation? I mean, I would want all of those things, and I would want freedom to be who I am and create things the way I see the world, or see myself in the world. I mean, I want to have control over what I'm doing. No, I don't want someone else to come and try to control me and my talent, and try to feel like because I'm so talented, they need to take control of me. I wouldn't want that. Income, of course, you would want some kind of income. I mean, this a lot of this stuff is not an overnight rich get rich quick scheme. A lot of this is work, and it probably started when you was a little kid, whatever, you know, and you've been working towards it slowly all your life until you get to that point where that's all you can do, all you want to do, and they call it in a roundabout way retirement, because most of the times you've ever heard anybody talk while they were working, that's a lot of times is what they said. They can't wait to retire, because when they retire, they got their own goals and dreams that they want to accomplish. Maybe they want to just start an art business, or a cafe or a coffee house, or just something little, And if it ends up being big, yeah, you'll take that too. Uh, but a lot of times that's been their dreams to not have to get up and go clock in, and just if they did have to get up, it'd be for themselves instead of for like corporate or something like that. So, uh, and then the legacy, yeah, if it grows to be a big thing, yeah, people would know you from that, and that would be something great. And then the validation to know that you've done that, you've followed your dreams, and you should be validated for it. And but it is a difference if you just want validation versus working hard to, I mean, because you have to work hard for all these other things, freedom, control, income, legacy. I mean, you have to work hard for freedom, because when you first starting off just in life, you are under someone else's rule, right? Whether it be your parents, and then whether it be a job, and then whether it be, whatever you have to fight for freedom from. And it's not necessarily fighting, it's just getting to a point where you no longer letting that control your mindset and stuff. And that goes for freedom and control. And then income, of course, who don't want to get paid for what they're doing, right? I mean, like, if I'm being like stressed out by people because they don't understand me, I want to get paid for that. I mean, I can't help that, because there's no reason for people to be trying to stress me out because of whatever poor choices they made for their life, and just trying to sit around and drag somebody else down. That's just, no, I want to get paid for that. And I will go and talk to whoever I need to talk to about that, because it's no reason for that. It's no reason for that. But if you want to do it, then I mean, just know there's a value on me. I mean, you obviously know the value on me, that I'm going to get paid for that. So, and the legacy is that. It's just, I'm going to get paid for that because of who I am, who I've worked hard to be. I mean, every day you see me, this is what I'm doing. And I feel like this is what someone else could do. And they could go and figure all this stuff out on their own and start them a podcast, sit around and talk on it with their friends, versus trying to make somebody else see things the way they do when they don't. So, and a business will test your ego. It will. It will test your consistency. It will. It will test your patience. Okay. So these are the three questions you can ask yourself right off. Like, are- do do are you fit for this? Is what it is. Are you competent for it or something? I don't know. Would you be consistent even if it looked like things ain't going your way with it? Will it test your patience? Yes. Everything in life somehow will test your patience. Uh, I mean, because for some reason, if you're just naturally easygoing person and you don't really get too worked up about a lot of stuff, then people will keep, or will try, uh, if you let them, keep just trying to pile up on you or something like that, because they feel like, well, if I do more eventually, but sometimes people are just who they are, and it don't matter what you are doing, they still are going to be who they are. And you just keep being frustrated because you feel like you keep doing more for less. You might have started off feeling like you was doing more for more, and then it's just less and less effective, is what I would say. So it will test your patience, your ego, and would you still be consistent while it's doing all that. So if you build in for applause, you'll quit when it gets quiet. You have some people who they just look for arguments. They just look for the noise. That's all they want to. And if you, like myself, I'm more of a quiet person, right? So, but a lot of times people looking for an argument. They want me to yell and shout, and it's just not in me to be all that. I mean, I have my moments, because you have to explain to people I am who I am, not because of you, but because of me, because of the creator of the world. I am who I am. And regardless, I have nothing to do with people who sit and wish they could be like someone else. It's just not who I am. if you're building for ownership, you'll keep going when nobody is clapping. So, and that's a big thing too. And if you're not looking for the applause, you're trying to follow your dreams and your hopes and all these things. You'll keep doing what you feel like you were born to do. Are you avoiding the boring work? Here's what's not sexy, right? Tracking expenses. I mean, who wants to? I mean, most people want to just have money to say, if I bought this, if I bought a Ferrari or whatever, if I could talk to AI and say, design me this car and then I can have it made. I mean, who, without thinking about how much it would cost? I mean, studying for your audience. That's what I mean. I'm sure it's not because it's a lot of times we struggle with knowing even who your audience is. It's like so studying for them is like because it's so many people you can't speak for people. You can't think for other people. You don't know if you haven't really met them or anything. You don't really know what excites them or what gets them motivated by looking at you or something. Practicing daily. Sometimes we get so distracted with life because there's so many things, and sometimes they're unexpected that come up that we can't really like uh, stay focused on trying to practice on it daily. Like I said, I want to sketch out something daily. And I try for the most part since I just started it this week, but or the end of last week, and you know, and sometimes you just want to sit and look at it, but and learning marketing. Like, and that's a whole thing within itself because sometimes some people just have the natural gift of being able to advertise themselves, but then some people have to put those advertising dollars on it, and you know and some people who probably use the advertising money to do, they might say they further along than someone who is a natural at it. Who knows? I mean, you can go back and forth with that, but learning how to do it, regardless, both people have to learn how to do it. It didn't come easy, and sometimes you didn't say it right or didn't put it out there right. It's just a thing, and it's just something we have to learn. Posting consistently, I think that is the thing. Is a lot we all struggle with because what is consistent? Like you have to go back and forth with yourself. Like, well, if I do it too much, my audience might not be interested. If I don't do it enough, I know they won't be interested. So it's just trying to figure out that schedule or that time for you to do it that works best for you, and making sure you know it's what your audience want to. That's that studying your audience, making sure it's what your audience is interested in, so you can keep them going at it. Improving your product, whatever your product is, whether it be a podcast or a post or a blog or whatever, just improving it all the time and knowing again what works, studying your audience, what they like to read, what they like to talk about, and then try to, I don't think take yourself out of the picture trying to please everybody, but I think a lot of times is what you probably get in a habit of when you first started something is letting them know, because sometimes we do start channels all the time. We'll start a channel and we feel like when we started it's like going to school, right? When you pick a major, we feel like when you started that's what you're going to be good at sticking with, and then somewhere along the line somebody might you might have ran into someone who may helps you see things differently. Then your major might have changed a little bit, but it's kind of different from being in school, because once you get an audience and they used to you being this way, and then you try to add something else into it, if you didn't explain it to them from the beginning, uh, that this is pretty much the area I'll be staying in. I won't be so stuck in just talking about one thing if you feel like, and I think that has a lot to do with who you are as a person. Uh, because some kids grow up and they just multi-talented, so they'll talk about any and everything. So you have to like structure yourself in a way that they know that, and it's hard sometimes to narrow it down. What's important is rarely glamorous, I know that sweatshirt that used to go around when I was younger. It's a dirty job, but somebody has to do it, right? Uh, and I, I don't, and so I'll just leave it at that. Some people who feel like they doing something to help someone else, yet they failing at it themselves. That's kind of like the blind leading the blind thing. Am I avoiding the uncomfortable parts by over focus on aesthetics? Because growth hides inside discipline. So, let's read that again because am I avoiding the uncomfortable parts by over focusing on aesthetics? Because growth hides inside discipline. Now, let's think about that for a minute. Sometimes this is what you have to do. A lot of just repeat these. If you stuck somewhere at reading something, repeat it over until it sticks, right? Am I avoiding the uncomfortable parts? The uncomfortable parts is tracking expenses, studying your audience, practicing daily, learning and marketing, posting constantly, improving your product. These are mostly the uncomfortable parts because it's not something you naturally do. If it's not your job, you don't naturally get up and you know and do all these things. So and the aesthetic, I mean, are you focusing more on the glamorous part of it, how it would look on paper, or the colors to it, or something that you know that you hoping your audience would just see and it would all explain everything to them, but 9 times out of 10 it won't, because growth hides inside discipline. Discipline is learning how to track your expenses, studying your audience, practicing daily, learning marketing, posting constantly, improving your product. And that's where we'll leave this at today. So yeah, I think it's a lot to think about, and just questions we should get in the habit of asking ourselves, because, like I said, there's so many things that come into the market, and it can make you feel like you never have the right thing, because it just constantly, instead of you just using what you already have to accomplish what you want, or to get you that on at least your foot in the door, right? And not the most important part, I feel like, is not letting other people distract you. Okay, not letting them, no matter what they doing. I mean, you keep doing what you doing, and you will see why you keep growing and they don't. Okay, so, and you can deal with all the rest of the stuff when it's over and done with, but don't let other people distract you or stop you from doing what you're doing. And I think that is your foot into the door. So um, I thank you guys so much. I'm so glad I did this. Sometimes, like I said, people will try to get you out of that mindset of doing it, and then once you realize you're not gonna accept that, then you continue on being who you are, and your audience will still love you, and your following will continue to grow, and you will continue to accomplish your goals and become that person you've always wanted to be. So until next time, take care of yourself and your words. Thank you.